Okay. That's the first time it ever told me it was in progress. So thank you all for coming again. My name is Patty Straw. I'm Parent Resource Coordinator for the SALT Talks session for multiple counties, Butler, Dark, Miami, or I'm not sorry, Montgomery, Greene, Warren. We have several counties here represented tonight. So this was a topic that has come up many times, post-secondary education. In many of our sessions over the course of time, what are we going to do? What kind of programs are out there? So I thought maybe this would be a good way to finish our season off. We are finishing our season tonight, and then we'll take a break over the summer and restart in September. So I'm going to go ahead and I believe, Lorrie, you wanted to go first? Okay. We have several representatives here. We have Sinclair, we have UC representative, and Nisonger, the OSU, Ohio State University. So we'll start off with Lorrie, if you want to go ahead. I put you as co-host, right? Yeah, so you can share your screen. And you're still on mute, Lorrie.
Yeah, I forgot to unmute. Can everyone see my screen? It should say Tartan Tops on it.
Yes.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to scroll through this slideshow the way it is because it's hidden under something on my screen. So I apologize for that. But so I'm Lorrie Spivey. I'm with the Tartan TOPS Program for Sinclair Community College. I'm the program director. We started this program actually just as recently as January. We applied for the OSC, Ohio State Consortium grant program, and we were awarded, gosh, I guess about 1.5 years ago now. And then COVID hit. So then we thought, wow, it's probably not the greatest time to start a program and do that remotely. So we put it off, but we decided January we were going to go ahead and start our pilot program. So we did, and we've been very, very excited with the results of our programs thus far. So to start off by telling you a little bit about Sinclair, we were founded in 1887. We have several locations: Dayton, Centerville, Englewood, Huber Heights, and Mason. This program in particular runs at the Dayton campus only at this point. We hope to someday have it available for all campuses. 99% of the students at Sinclair say that they have a quality education and rated as excellent. And our motto and our mission at Sinclair is find the need and endeavor to meet it. So we thought, you know, we definitely know there's a need out there. Tartan TOPS is endeavoring to meet that need. So we, campus life for Tartan TOPS students is the same as it is for any other college student at campus. A Tartan TOPS student is fully a Sinclair student. So any activities that are available are also available to our Tartan TOPS students. And we recently opened a lounge specifically for Tartan TOPS students, so they kind of have a hub to stop in, do some homework. We have computers available. We also have a conference room, so if there's any training that they would like to participate in, we will have all of that available to them in their own space. Campus life at Sinclair is a community college, so it is a little different than a four-year college where you're going away. So that worry about, you know, what's going to happen to my kid when they go away from home, they would be commuting instead of going away to a four-year college if they come to our program. So Tartan TOPS obviously is a transition option in post-secondary education. We have applied for and received granting of the CTP funding, which means that a student would be eligible to apply for financial aid, which would include Pell Grant or Ohio Instructional Grant if they are eligible. It is a educational career pathway for individuals age 18 to 24 with an intellectual disability. Now, that is right now why we're under the grant. We plan to maybe expand the age group a little wider after we're no longer under grant funding. And our program does culminate in an academic career readiness credential. And what makes us a little bit different is that we have our students take general education classes and receive college credit for those. In addition, they do take other courses that are completely made for those students, but they're open to every student at Sinclair. So if they apply to me and say, hey, I would really like to take this life skills course, then any student at Sinclair can take that course. Our program features are embedded tutoring. And what that means is we have tutors who sit in the life skills courses with our students, can help students navigate the course. We also have specific tutors for any academic course that the student is taking. So they pop into classrooms, they're able to come in and see the syllabus and the different projects and work that needs to be done so that they can tutor in a more focused way. And then every student has tutoring available to them immediately following their academic course when they're on campus. So they also, we're working on a peer mentoring program that will start in fall. The peer mentor program will help the students navigate college, help them integrate into social activities, and just be a peer that they can be involved with in doing different activities. We're really excited about that program, and we're working towards that this summer to make sure that happens come fall. It is a career readiness and training program. So we have internships that we are starting in their third semester within the program. So they will start a first internship on the campus, and then their second internship in fourth semester will be off campus, and we will be working towards that goal this summer. And they have extensive opportunities for training and working on, with assistive technology. We have assistive technologist within the accessibilities department, and we are having them work one-on-one with that person so that they are fully able to access programs and different technology once they leave the college and while they're at the college. So each student receives person-centered planning. We think that's key to making sure that we're meeting the needs of the students' goals. I mean, they're in the driver's seat. They're not just coming and us prescribing something for them. We want to know, what academic goals they have, what personal goals they have. For instance, many of our students are working towards getting a driver's license. So we're working towards that goal. We're talking about that. We're talking about what that means, how they're going to accomplish it, connecting them with resources along the way. They're talking about different career paths, and we're working with our internship office and our work-based learning to make sure that they are able to explore those career paths and to see, what's involved. Obviously, nothing that starts the program is set in stone. So if they decide, I want to work on a different goal, then we will do that. We are meeting with them twice a semester to make sure that we're on target for goals and to change any goals that they've decided they want to change. Oh, sorry. So how does a student become a Sinclair Tartan TOPS student? They can apply. Oh, actually, I went one too fast. The curriculum, this is an example pathway. So there's This is the one that we started with. It's certainly some that they can follow all the way through if they decide, but we want this to be, again, something that they drive. So we don't want to be too prescriptive in how a student moves through the program. If they decide they are interested in automotive or culinary or childcare, then we will hook them up with the a course and a certificate program so that they are able to follow through with that. We did start with some basic things such as life skills and internship and work skills, but we also have an embedded customer service short-term certificate within the program. We know that there are some things within the culinary and automotive and welding that we can hook them up to. We do have a student right now who's interested in narrating digital videos, and she actually got to go into our studio and do a podcast, and I have shared that with Patty, I believe it was, and said more than happy to share that out. She feels like she's a little bit of a celebrity, so we're really excited for her, and she did an amazing job. So sorry about that. The application process, we can go right to our website on the Accessibility Services website for Sinclair, or you can just Google Tartan TOPS Sinclair Community College and it will take you directly to our website. There's an application and an assessment on that page. They can submit it electronically and we will reach out to them within a week. We want to meet with them, talk to them, see what their challenges are, and see if they're an appropriate fit for the program. Right now, we're planning on having 8 new students for fall, and then taking on 8 new students come spring. So we're really excited about that. Right, we had 4 for this spring doing the pilot program, and all of them successfully completed their first semester with us. We want to make sure that we have a good idea, so we ask for their IEP. The assessment is a short assessment talking about things like, are they comfortable being on campus? Can they navigate different aspects of campus on their own? And I know that's a concern as a parent, as you know, it's kind of overwhelming to send your child off to college. So we know that that's a difficult challenge for our students. So we meet for orientation before the program starts. We allow students to come in and visit our class to see, you know, what it's like to be in one of our classrooms. And we plan to this summer do a week-long orientation to make sure our students are ready. And then the first day of class this summer, we met with them and walked them to the first class just to make sure that they're ready. But also that's where the peer mentor comes in to help them navigate through those first couple weeks to assist them. And we're doing that through a work study program with students who are already Sinclair students. So the unique thing, one of the unique things about our program is we don't charge anything outside of tuition and the regular fees that any other student pays. We don't have a program fee for Tartan TOPS. It is solely tuition, and that is the philosophy of Sinclair. We don't charge fees outside of the normal tuition. Obviously, they'll have additional fees such as books and supplies and transportation. Certain labs have a little bit of extra cost added to them, but we can discuss those before they sign up for those courses. And I shortened my presentation today, but I think that we have a really good start to this program. We're very excited. We have a lot of buy-in within Sinclair, and we're working with Developmental Disabilities, OOD. We want to make sure all of our students are connected so that when they leave us in a year and a half, 2 years, they are ready to move towards independence with resources in place. So we're really excited about our program, and I'd be happy to take any questions that you may have.
Lorrie, it looks like we have some in the chat box.
Okay.
And it starts, let me see here. There was about a couple of them there. 1 second. So the first one was, does the university offer transportation to and from the campus?
So no, we don't, but we do connect with Green Cats. We also connect with Project Mobility. Some of our students are utilizing both of those transportation programs right now. And we will certainly help them connect with those resources, but we do not offer transportation.
The next one says, can they do college during high school?
Unfortunately, no. Due to the way this program is set up, they cannot do the Tartan TOPS program and high school at the same time. Now, certainly, if they were self-pay and were beyond the grant period, we may consider that. We know there's been some interest with CCP students, but the way that financial aid is set up, CTP funding cannot be utilized while a student is still in high school.
The next one says, is this full-time hours and days of class schedules?
It is not full-time. It's 6 credit hours per semester. So typically that's 2 classes. Once they get into their second internship, it will be a little more intensive. They'll be doing probably around 10 to 15 hours a week of internship on top of doing a work skills course. So that will be a little more intensive than the 6 credit hours the first 3 semesters. But no, it is not considered full-time.
Then the next one was, do you have to have a lower IQ to participate in this program, or can you have an average IQ with autism?
We can certainly talk about different disabilities in our program, and if you decide that your son or daughter wants to apply, then we can talk to you and do an assessment. We're not in the business of ruling anyone out. This is a specific program for intellectual disabilities, but we know that there are folks out there who can benefit from our program that are not specifically intellectual disabilities.
Do you offer one-on-one help navigating campus and classes, and can the peer mentor work with them all semester long?
The peer mentor will be with them all semester long. As far as one-on-one, we know that those first few weeks will be challenging. We don't have one-on-one persons going with each student, but we know that we want to keep them as a cohort. We train them to guide one another on the campus. So we started last week. We guided them around the campus, and now we're asking each one of them, so take the class to the library, or can you show us where the women's restroom is. So we want them to start getting that knowledge on their own, but we are right there with them.
Looks like we have quite a couple more questions here.
Okay.
Let's see here. Do they choose a particular major as part of their plans, and why is it called the Tartan TOPS?
Well, Sinclair is the Sinclair Tartans, and the TOPS was chosen by the dean of our communications department. So I'm not sure why she chose it, but that's what she chose. So she was working very extensively with us in the initial process of applying for CTP funding, and she's been instrumental in buy-in with the college. And we actually started with Tartan Soars, and she said people didn't like that name, so we ended up going with Tartan TOPS. And what was the other part of that question? I didn't hear.
Let's see, 1 second, let me pull up here. Do they choose a particular major as a part of the plan?
They do not. As a Tartan TOPS student, they are guided kind of through with the work skills and the life skills courses, but they are able to choose general education courses. We help them navigate what courses would have an embedded short-term certificate within, so that they are gaining credentials along the way. If they decide to go beyond the initial 4 semesters and pursue an associate's degree, all of those credits would be granted towards the associate's degree program.
Great, thank you. There's still a few more questions out there. If you can answer them in the chat so we can go to the next speaker. Sure. I'm going to turn it over to Sadie. Are you ready? Do you want to go next from UC ATS?
Sure. Yeah, I can,
okay.
unless Jessie, unless you have to be somewhere.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay, great.
Hi, by the way, Jessie.
Hello.
All right. Well, so I'm Sadie Everett, and I am the Community Relations Manager for Advancement and Transition Services at the University of Cincinnati. And Advancement and Transition Services, better known as ATS, TAP is one of our programs, and that's our post-secondary college program. I'm going to share my screen though, and I know, wait a minute, I'm having a total like brain skip. Where do I share my screen?
Look for it. You should have a share screen.
Oh, there it is.
In green, at the top or bottom. Yeah, in green. Yes.
Yeah, there it is. Oh my goodness.
It's
been a long day on Zoom today. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. So I know this meeting is mostly for post-secondary college opportunities, to learn about opportunities for college students, for students with intellectual and developmental disabilities. But ATS, Advancement and Transition Services, we do have a couple other programs. So I did just want to give a brief overview of ATS in general, and then a little bit about those other 2 programs, just so you know about us and if those might be options for students and families. It's out there. So please reach out and let us know you're interested. So anyway, let me get going here. So we are part of the University of Cincinnati, and ATS as a whole, you know, our mission is really to foster quality life experiences for people with disabilities through innovation, education, and service. And it really is a great opportunity to be part of the University of Cincinnati because they have been so supportive of including our students and our participants to live, to access a meaningful and quality experiences and to become more independent contributing members of this community. And our little slogan is "Next Lives Here," and that's something that our new president Pinto came out with when he first started at the University of Cincinnati, and it really, really speaks to us as ATS and our programs, because this is next. You know, this is inclusion, this is acceptance, this is access, and it really falls into the strategic direction of the university in that we're breaking down barriers and we are offering some amazing opportunities for people with diverse abilities. So just a little snapshot of ATS. We have 3 programs. One is the Collaboration for Employment and Education Synergy, which is called CEASE. You know, we love our acronyms. And that is our high school transition program. And I'll go into that in a little bit more detail in a second. We have the Transition and Access program, which is TAP, and that is the post-secondary college program for young adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And we also have Impact Innovation, which is an adult day program for adults who are significantly affected by autism and or sensory communication or behavior challenges We serve about 150 people with disabilities every year, and we also partner with approximately 30 employers in the community. So a little bit about our high school transition program. We partner with 12 districts in the area to provide transition services to students who have IEPs between the ages of 14 and 21. And these students, and we get about 50 students each semester. And I'm kind of going to talk in pre-COVID terms, just because that I'm hoping we're kind of moving back in that direction too. So we are, I lost my train of thought because somebody's knocking on my door. My kids are running around and I don't know, they're just running the house right now. But so we partner with 12 districts in the area. We have 50 students each semester, and these students come to campus. They use their transportation from their districts, and they come to campus. They get to campus at around 9:30 and participate in an internship for a couple of hours. And then they break for lunch on campus, and then they have curriculum that focuses on self-determination, social communication, and vocational development, vocational skills development. And newly, which is something COVID was a benefit for, it's pushed us into some different directions with where we think our students and where the community has need for employees and also skills to be grown. And so we do offer a STEM curriculum for students who are interested in learning about skills or acquiring skills that that people have in STEM careers. So that's something new. And during COVID, we did offer a virtual component, which was great. So the first semester, spring semester, we had, I think, around 35 to 40 students accessing our online version of CEAS. And we had, I think, about 8 or 10 students coming to campus still. And then just this past semester, we had about 18 students on campus, which was great, and about 30 students accessing the virtual program. Something really special about CEAS, which I hope comes back. They did very small, kind of more exclusive versions of this, but the students put on this amazing poster board presentation that showcases everything that they've experienced and their favorite things that they've experienced coming onto this campus. And CEAS is really something something unique. I mean, I know that high schools and schools out there offer these types of services, but it's kind of neat for a district to take this on as another option to offer students another community to access, to navigate, to experience. It's been really amazing watching some of our students in districts explore this option. We do have a summer camp, and I should have found out. I have no idea if it's full or not. So if you are interested in it, please email me and I'll share all my contact information here at the end. But it's going to look more like the pre-COVID version of CEAS, where it's 12 weeks, 3 days a week. Students will participate in internships and curriculum focusing around those same skills I just talked about. And it starts June 15th and ends July 22nd. All right, so another program that we have is Impact Innovation. And again, this is a program for adults. It's a day program that meets year round, every day, Monday through Friday from 9 to 3. We have, I think, 24 people in this program right now. And the 3 pillars of this program are health and wellness, lifelong learning, and vocational skills development or vocational exploration. So, we're really looking for this program to really develop the skills needed to be more independent and just to live a better quality of life. And through some partnerships, we've been able to really build on those skills. And I'm hoping a lot of these partnerships will come back post-COVID or after COVID, which we've had a few. One is Art with Intention, which is an amazing art program taught by Patty McDonald, and she teaches art to people with brain differences, and with the intention that art is exercising the brain. She's amazing, and the artwork that the associates in our program produce is beautiful and so joyful. We've also had great partnerships with Ensemble Theater, specifically with a curriculum for people with autism. We have worked with a physical therapist to develop individual exercise plans for everybody in our program to develop, I think she calls them like highly or daily function, to increase daily function. So exercises to build up on those like daily, everyday functions, like reaching or increasing your pace while you're walking, walking upstairs, walking downstairs, that kind of thing. We've had some great work with communication interventions, and oh, I just lost my train of thought. There was one other partnership. Oh, I remember. How could I forget? And I'm really hoping that we have Project Yoga coming back, which is an amazing organization as well, where they teach and practice yoga with at-risk populations. And it's just been a huge, huge benefit to the associates in our program. And it's just made it fun and meaningful. It's been really different during COVID, just like everything. We're not out in the community as much. We run the campus. We were like the only people there. So that's a benefit. We could really spread out, and you could always go on long walks at UC. So there was that as well. But I'm very excited to say that, and we didn't have any transportation for our associates, but I'm very excited to say that transportation is back starting this week. So the families are incredibly relieved and happy about that as well. So we have transportation to and from the program, from their homes and to campus. And then at the end of the day, back home. And then, what was the other thing and we will soon start back at the rec center, accessing the rec center, because that was part of their daily schedule and it hasn't been. But we have an amazing staff, which I do want to mention. We employ about 70 or 80 student workers every year, and these students are from every major, every background, so diverse. But one thing that they all have in common, which I think is just so incredible, is compassion and just this amazing tolerance and acceptance. They are, and so what I always find really interesting is, I always say that, we're changing the lives of these people in these programs, but you know what, we are also changing the lives of these students at UC, and they're our future leaders. So, it excites me to know that they have had experience with this population, and they're going to carry that forward to their communities when they are landlords or business owners, and they might hire a person with a disability. They might rent an apartment to a person with a disability. It's just that whole idea of fostering this inclusion in our community. Okay, and of course we do have internship opportunities for our impact associates as well. Sometimes that looks a little bit different depending on where everybody is. Sometimes it could be practicing skills in our office and then transferring them to the workplace, and then building in more time in that workplace to build skills. We also have some associates who are working on campus in a paid employment and with a paid employment position. So it really varies. We just try to meet everybody where they are. Okay, the moment you've all been waiting for, the Transition and Access Program, is our college program for young adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. This is a 4-year residential program. We are a part of the thinkcollege.net, which I'm sure this is something important if you are exploring options, but thinkcollege.net is an amazing resource if you are exploring out of state, in state. You can learn so much about all of these amazing programs, and it's a great place to start. So definitely explore thinkcollege.net if you haven't already. A couple other cool things about TAP that are somewhat recent. We did develop a Co-op 2.0 program, which the University of Cincinnati is kind of known for its co-op programs. And just recently they came out with this Co-op 2.0. So we partner with different employers in the community, on campus and in the community, to provide internship experience where they're getting paid, but they're also going to be part of a classroom discussion and a course where they can reflect and develop some skills to improve their experience, or to analyze their experience, and whether or not this is a good fit, whether or not it's something they want to keep pursuing. So it's just a really cool way to embed a work experience into your college experience as well. And Co-op 2.0 is not just for our students, but it is for all UC students, but we recently had it added specifically to our program with some specific opportunities for our TAP students, which is great. I mentioned that it's residential, and students, this is a non-degree program, but students do receive a university recognized certificate. And that is something that is important to us, because this is showing that the university has really embedded our program into the university and into the college. So program outcomes, this is something, these are the big things that we're looking for when our students leave our program: community connections, independent living, employment, social relationships, lifelong learning, and self-determination. And throughout their 4 years, we are kind of nurturing these skills to reach those, to meet those outcomes. And we're also trying to connect them with providers. So when they leave the programs, they're connected with the OOD or what have you. We involve the family at a very high level on the future of their students. And we really just want our students to live a very as independent as possible and successful life. Okay, so we always say our students live, work, learn, and lead. And I'm just going to try to quickly talk about each of these little categories. So they live in inclusive housing. Next year, we're launching this new opportunity for first and second year students called Scholars in Transition. And it is an authentic living, learning community where students intentionally signed up, UC students and TAP students intentionally sign up to live in the same dorm and on the same floor together, and create like this great little family where they're learning together, living together, creating healthy relationships together, that kind of thing. So we're excited about that. These students live in the nicest dorm. I'll show you a picture of it in a second. They live in the newest, nicest dorms on campus. There's the best dining hall on campus there. There's a Tim Hortons, beautiful views, amazing finishes. I mean, it's awesome. So, and they have access to everything on campus, as all students do. We definitely instill many community safety protocols. We do travel training with our students, and we have life coaches who are students, UC students, to support whatever goals or whatever needs our students may be having throughout their days and weeks. So I've talked a little bit about the Co-op 2.0 opportunities already. They will have a minimum of 4 internships starting sophomore year, which is great. And we base those internships on their interests. We definitely have career pathways that have been developed over time based on our students' interests. So we've had several students interested in childcare, becoming teacher's assistants. So we definitely have a pathway and students who choose that kind of direction. We've had students interested in landscaping, hospitality, customer service, office clerical work, again, newly STEM related careers, and theater and arts. Like I said earlier, we have a really great relationship with Ensemble Theater, And not only have they come to us with our other program and taught that curriculum with our impact associates, but they've also had TAP students have internships over at their theater. Let's see, we provide job coaches if needed, and then fade as our students become more independent on the job. We definitely promote and support natural supports. And one thing that's really cool that our students do is they create a digital portfolio throughout their time at UC, and they have it at the end so they can share that with future employers. And it's just a great way to capture everything that they've accomplished during their time at UC. Okay, here's the fabulous dorm that they get to stay in, which is amazing. This is the freshman and sophomore dorm, and then when they are junior and seniors live in Scioto, which is right behind this dorm that you see right here. And it is also very nice. It's just apartment style living. We have had seniors also. It's definitely a choice of the student, and the families live off campus senior year as well. Okay, learning and leading. So TAP students are UC students first. So they will take 97 credit hours earned over the 4 years. What that breaks out to be is about 10 to 15 TAP courses, which those TAP courses are focusing on those skills that need the extra support, whether it be executive functioning, daily living skills, vocational skills development, career skills development, those types of things. But they also take at least one UC elective, and that can be based on their interests. Like I was talking about the students who are interested in childcare. So a lot of their electives were early childhood courses. And, but we've had students take yoga as their elective. We've had students take, oh my gosh, I had one student take the social history of baseball. Sounded so cool. We've had some theater buffs, and there's a Hamilton course. I mean, super cool stuff that these students get to access. They can take courses for credit or audit, and students attend classes independently. They are required to do study tables. We have academic coaches that are UC students that we hire to help our students stay organized, access Canvas, which is the online platform, wherever, help navigate and access, and just, just that extra support to stay organized and to stay on top of what they need to do. We've had some students pursue certificates in other UC programs like IT and the early childcare. Students have pursued I can't think of the acronym right now, but there's a early childhood certificate for teachers' aides. And so that is something that is also accessible to our students. All of our students are registered with our accessibility resources as well. And leaders, our students are amazing ambassadors, peer mentors. They are active in so many different clubs and organizations. They've presented in national and state conferences. I mean, my TAP ambassadors are just, I wish they were here. Nobody wants to do anything right now since summer break. So I'm having a hard time bugging my students, but I wish they were on this call tonight, because they're so charming, and they live a great life, and they love sharing about it. And they're just terrific people, and they're great at sharing their experience and what they're doing and what they're learning at UC. So that was kind of it in a nutshell. But if you have any questions for me, I can check the chat and answer some, because I'm sure we're kind of running up against the clock here. But if you have any questions for me, personally, I answer the ats@uc.edu email. So yeah, if there's any extended questions, I'd be happy to set up a time to talk to you or answer them in email as well.
Great. Thank you, Sadie. Yeah, there's some questions coming across in the chat box. If you will go ahead and answer them.
Yeah.
While we get started on the next group. We have Jessie Green. And Andrew, will you be following Jessie, or are you guys kind of together with,
We do work together, and I will just,
okay,
I'll follow up to her presentation.
great. Okay, thank you.
Perfect. So this is typically an 1.5-hour presentation. So I'm going to do it in 7 minutes. And a lot of this you'll discover is similar, but yet just slightly different. And we all work together collaboratively. In fact, we were on a meeting first thing this morning with members from programs across the state. So if one program might not be the best fit, we might say, hey, why don't you check out, this program? So there is no harm in that. So I opened up the wrong PowerPoint. Give me a second to find the right one. But I will get started. I am Jessie Green. I'm the program manager of the TOPS program at Ohio State. TOPS stands for Transition Options in Post-Secondary Settings. You will see that there are several programs, including Sinclair's program and some others, that have used the TOPS acronym. That was used for a grant years ago and has stuck. So I'm going to skip some of the history tonight just for sake of time. If you're interested, I will gladly share. I'll put my oh, it's still not sharing the right one. I'm so sorry, guys. I will put my email in the chat at some point so that you have access to that to ask these questions. And so I'm going to skip that. Comprehensive transition program status, which has been mentioned, UC has this status, Sinclair has this status, Ohio State has this status. What that means is that our students are able to access federal financial aid dollars if they're found eligible. It also sets up satisfactory academic progress so that students and families know what is it that we need to do to stay satisfactory with the program. I've lost my mouse. I'm having the worst. Here we go. Luck. Again, just to echo what Sadie said, thinkcollege.net is an amazing resource. So please check that out. Currently in at Ohio State's program, because of COVID, we're down numbers wise. We have 21 students. Typically, we enroll a cohort of about 10 students each year. We are supposed to have about 30 in the fall. So we'll be back up to where we hope to be. We are either a 2 or a 4-year workforce development certificate program. So students are non-degree students. And the 2 years, the 4-year is just more hours towards that certificate. There aren't any different qualifications to earn those certificates based on 2 or 4 years. It's a total of academic time with internship time and self-determination time. So our students follow the university schedule like any other student at Ohio State, and they enroll in 2 types of classes. One is an inclusive regular course. Sadie listed off, the baseball course and the Hamilton course. We've got a Beatles class and a chocolate class, and we also have lots of courses that might relate to their career goals as well. So there's a lot of options for exploration of interests, but also career goals. And then the second class, much like the other programs, is a program level course. We call it a student learning community or an SLC. And what that is independent living skills, job readiness skills, communication, self-determination, self-advocacy, all those sorts of things. And it's done in a small environment with just our students. And so to support all of that, we have an academic advisor on staff. And so she works with students to determine the courses they're going to take, what sequence or order they should take them in, meets with them to make sure that they're able to access all the coursework, if they need additional assistance with accommodations and modifications. She works with faculty on that. And then she also supports all of our ed coaches and we have lots of different coaches. So when I talk about our ed coaches or any of our mentors, they are enrolled students at the university that are taking a disability studies practicum course, and they're doing their field work with us. And so they're getting course credit to do things like go to class with our students and support them in class, or operate our tutoring center for students to get extra support. Our tutoring center, our academic center, is a required component of the program. How often and how long is dependent on the student and the course that they're taking, but all of our students access the academic center. And then our mentors are also, we have support within our SLC, or student learning community. Our students, just like at Sinclair and UC, are members of the campus community. So they are card carrying with their Buck IDs. They have a name.number email. They're able to access meal plans and all sorts of, which gets them into the rec facilities on campus, into campus activities. They can ride the city transportation with their Buck ID for free all semester long. So there's lots of perks to having that Buck ID. Our students also are required to participate in 25 hours of community service per semester. And there's lots of ways that they get that. Some of it is planned by the program, some of it is university events, some of it students plan individually. The picture on the middle and on the right are from a spring break, alternative spring break trip, one to Chicago and one to Louisiana, that some of our students took with peers and staff, and they had a blast. So social supports, again, lots of things going on campus. It can sometimes be overwhelming with the amount of things going on at Ohio State. And so we have a social advisor who helps to coordinate different activities with students, make sure that they know how to access student organizations or events that they want to attend. And then there's social coaches, again, peers from that disability studies course who will go to events with them, support them, invite them to other things. It's always great when we find out that students are doing things with our mentors or other friends on campus after the fact, because the natural friendships are what we're always looking for. So where do our students live? A couple places. For our students who are not local, some of our students live in University Village, which is an apartment complex near campus. They have these red buses that they're known for that just circle campus. Most of the community, it's a private apartment community, and most of the residents there are students at the university of varying levels, and they have been great to work with. And so if that's something you're interested in, I encourage you to check out their website. And just this year, for the first year, we have limited access to the residence halls. And so we've had some students there, and we will continue to have students living in the residence halls next year. Unfortunately, space is limited. We're always pushing for more rooms. And so that conversation is always ongoing. But it went phenomenally for the first year. And they didn't have, this was planned before COVID, and we still continued that to give that access to our students. Travel training. So university has the CABS bus, and then the city bus is the CODA bus. Our students have access to both for free, and we will do training on both if needed. We also do training for those that live at University Village on their bus system. And both of the CABS and the CODA have accessible transit that we will help students get registered for and trained on. And so the outcome of our program, our students were really looking to increase their employment outcomes post-program. And so we do that through a variety of ways. So I'm going to skip to this slide. And so students start out with a lot of career exploration. They may know coming in what they want to do, but there's still lots more to learn. And then students go into unpaid internships starting their second semester for the remainder of their time with us. Those internships vary in the length that they are, the number of hours per week. Sometimes it's based on student schedule, sometimes it's based on the business schedule, how that all works out. Many of our students have been able to move into paid employment or federal work study positions at the university. So for instance, we have 13 of our 21 students were employed this past academic year while they were enrolled in our program. We don't guarantee the paid employment while in the program, but we've had some great success over the years. And so a lot of our students have been able to really work in typically entry-level program or positions at the university. It's oftentimes not related to their career goals, but what we do know from the literature is that students who have paid employment leads to better outcomes later on for employment. And so we really encourage students who have the capability to manage that. Not all of our students can, some have to build up to that, to, if they're offered a paid position, to really thoughtfully consider that. Some of our students, when they graduate, have stayed with the university, and we've been able to create a general service assistant position. So what that allows us to do is kind of customize the position so that they become qualified for the position, even if they wouldn't meet all of the requirements of the traditional position. And then some of our students are working in regular employment positions with the university, and we didn't customize their position. And so to do all of this work on our staff, we've got career specialists who work all the way through a student's time with us, from career development onto looking for competitive employment when they are getting ready to graduate. And we have job coaches that work with them at the work site and then fade out as soon as possible for a variety of reasons, but are there to support, and sometimes they come back in if new skills are being added to a student's list of responsibilities. We also have some committees on campus that help support the development of internships and paid employment. So I will admit this slide is not up to date because we've had a graduating class this month, but it's close enough. And so we now have 35 graduates of our program at Ohio State. So I would anticipate, things are a little weird because of COVID. I honestly haven't worked to calculate the averages, but we had, because this doesn't include last year's graduates either. So of the 4 graduates we've had this year, 3 have secured positions, and 1, we believe she's going to be hired. She's had an interview. They were looking to customize a position for her, so that always takes a little bit longer, but we are hopeful. So. And then our students, self-determination, they work through self-advocacy plans that they work with staff to really determine what are those long-term and short-term goals, and how are they going to achieve those goals, breaking them down into steps, what accommodations and supports do students need to meet those goals, and then they present that to their team, and who their team is really a student decision. So typically we have a summer program that we open up to students who aren't quite to the point of being in our program. However, this summer we're not going to be able to do that, but something to think about in the future. Typically it's a week-ish over the summer, and so students get a lot of real-time experience, that we have classes that they attend, they take assessments, they do social activities, they sleep in the residence halls, meals in the dining halls. We're able to get to know them, they're able to get to know us in campus. We're able to provide a lot of feedback to families through an assessment report after the fact. So paying for all of this, and a lot of this goes for all of the programs. So we do have a scholarship for our program specifically because we have some amazing donors. Student federal aid through FAFSA because of the CTP. So that's for all of our programs, which includes the Ohio College Opportunity Grant. Many of our students, not many, some of our students have 529 accounts that they can utilize. Many of our students get outside scholarships, whether it's from their high school or certain organizations. But I will say a majority of our students at Ohio State are private paying. So there's a breakdown of fees, but just for sake of time, if a student, just the tuition and fees, especially because the board just approved a fee increase for this year's incoming class, and I have not seen numbers yet. It's roughly $7,500. I would anticipate it to be closer to $76 or $77 per semester for tuition and fees, and that includes all of the supports that our program would provide. And then if a student is living in the residence hall, there is a fee for that as well. And so I think I'm going to end there. So I will answer questions that have popped up. I keep seeing it flash.
Yes,
So,
we've had a lot of questions going
Yep.
through. Feel free to scroll down through because some of the questions that were asked earlier, probably apply to any of the programs. So feel free to scroll through. I'm going to let Andrew Buck go ahead and continue with his portion of it. I know we're running over, that is fine. We are recording it. So this is information that, those who had to leave can, access later. And all these presentations will be on the SALT Google Drive. So go ahead, Andrew.
Thanks, Patty, and thanks everyone for your time. My name's Andrew Buck. I'm a learning and development consultant at the Ohio State University Nisonger Center. So as part of my work, I do work with Jessie and other staff in the TOPS program, as well as other staff and programs around Ohio that we call Ohio Statewide Consortium, which is our network of partner programs across the state. I'm just going to give you some additional resources that you can follow up on, and as well as my contact information if there's something that I point out that you'd like more information on. The first is a free and customizable college and career readiness curriculum that we've developed for middle and high school students called Envision It. This was originally intended for middle and high school students in inclusive classroom settings, although we did create a modified reduced reading level version of the curriculum. I'll put this website address in the chat box so that you can access not only this website, but generally the Nisonger website, where you can get more information about TOPS under adult services and more about Envision It under our research tab. You can learn a little bit more about what Envision It is and is intended to do. As I mentioned, it's free. It's also an evidence-based curriculum designed to improve transition planning, career readiness types of skills. Students will engage in career exploration activities, as well as career development activities like developing a resume and a cover letter. So this is a resource that you might pass along to your child or student's teachers or school administrators. And certainly I can follow up with more training for teachers or administrators to begin implementing this curriculum at your child or student's school. Envision It does have a comprehensive Google Drive library that you can access. For parents particularly, you can drive into the teacher resources in this Google Drive library. And we do have a series of adult support or adult mentor activities. And this is generally a supplemental or enrichment activity for each unit of the academic curriculum that helps students and parents or another adult mentor in their life work through some career exploration and career development types of work. It includes a lot of great resources to websites that can help you with, again, that college planning process. So that's found in the Envision It library and the teacher resources. As I mentioned, the full curriculum is available here with tons of activities and resources to explore, as well as different abbreviated course models, including our reduced reading level version. Another resource that I just wanted to point out as well is our Ohio Statewide Consortium website. I'll put this link in the chat as well. But here you can get access to student success stories and program videos if you want to learn more or share this information with your student who's thinking about if a college program might be the right fit for them. We have specific links to each of the programs across Ohio, so you can click on any of those links to get specific information about those programs, as well as contact information. And we do have additional resources where you can learn more about how to pay for college. As Jessie mentioned, several resources, including a scholarship spreadsheet and other ways to access the Ohio College Opportunity Grant through federal financial aid, the FAFSA process, as well as how to get employment services. And so that's essentially our collaborative partnership with OOD, or Ohio's Vocational Rehabilitation Agency. And specifically through OOD, we've got a great partnership where we're working on the Pre-Employment Transition Services, or PREETS program, which includes job exploration, counseling, and self-advocacy instruction, as well as counseling on post-secondary opportunities for students. So you can get a little bit more information about that. That will also link you out to OOD's websites for the services that they provide for students 14 plus. And that includes a request for PREETS form. So a school personnel or staff would download this form and fill it out for your student. And you can request for Ohio State or the University of Cincinnati or the University of Toledo to provide those services to your student. And depending on where you're at, those can also be done virtually as well. I believe Sadie mentioned the Think College website. So this is a really great place where you can get a lot of additional family resources, training, and additional resources based on the thinkcollege.net. That's the national coordinating center of all the national comprehensive and transition post-secondary programs nationwide. You can also do a search for schools all over the country. Lastly, I saw someone mention in the chat about students who may be degree-seeking students. As we've mentioned, these programs do provide a meaningful certificate. And sometimes, like at Columbus State, those programs will also provide certificates that may be more industry-recognized credentials. But we also have a program at Nisonger called ACE, is the Autism College Experience. So this is a social support program for students who are enrolled at Ohio State as degree-seeking students, but have social communication needs that they can access ACE staff to develop that support network through their college program. So I'll pause there and go ahead and enter each of these links into the chat. And of course, I'll answer any questions that are there as well. I just really want to appreciate everybody's time to be able to share these resources with you today.
Thank you, Andrew. That was great. All the resources and the information. I know there's been a lot of questions tonight. I think Jessie was getting down through some of them. And I saw Sadie answering some, and Lorrie was able to answer before she left as well, or had to leave. So I'm going to close the recording, but then anybody who has any more questions, feel free to jump in. But just a reminder, this is our last session for this season. We'll be taking a break over the summer, and then starting up again in September with some more SALT talks. We're still determining about virtual or live. We're still going through all that, but watch the SALT Google Drive, the Live Binder, or the Facebook for information, or feel free to email me. So let me shut off the recording so we can get to some questions here if anybody has more.